I'm Ed Case and I'm here with Locked On for the Signature series. My first record going back to, I guess like 1987. It was one of the first records that my older brother brought home after he'd been to either biology or energy or one of these all-night raving sort of parties. I wasn't allowed to go because I was too young, but Nexus 21, track called Still Life Keeps Moving. It's an absolute classic. It's way before its time, the way it's produced, the sounds. These tracks, basically most house and garage and everything that stemmed from it come from tracks like this. Song as well that goes over it is absolutely incredible and just gets you where you feel it and not just hear it. Second track, before I got into producing garage, I basically had a fascination for drum and bass, happy hardcore and that sort of rave music. I was too young to basically get really involved in producing. I did release a couple of records, but 4Hero, I think, for me, were an experimental group. Most of their records were on Reinforced, and this is a track called Journey from the Light. To me, it encompasses everything that drum and bass should be. I mean, they were trendsetters in my book. I must have bought it when I was DJing. I used to play in a club called ⴚᴚᴜ, which was in Peckham Rye. And I pretty much spent a year and a half listening to Randall DJ rap. Some of the music that was played there was absolutely broken in that club. You know, everybody would go crazy for them. 5 out of 5 for me. So when I got into garage, I was very much influenced by these guys here, which was Danny Foster and T Smooth. I was lucky to work in a studio next door to them, and I remember turning my monitors down so I could sneakily hear what they were doing because it was just so amazing and groundbreaking. This track here is a remix, I believe, of 꽚ᴜᴜ. It's called How Long? Underground Solution. Remixes by T Smooth and Danny Foster. This is a gem, it's very rare. I don't think there were too many copies of this ever released, but it definitely should be played more. So hopefully they'll hear what I'm saying and do a repress or get it out there online. This here, it's Mark Rough Rider, Project A, see it. Sometimes I don't even know the names, but it's a remix of, it actually doesn't even say on here what it's called. Anyway, Mark Rough Rider, I looked and hunted down for this record. I had it, but they had a version with an MC on it, which was great, but I really loved the original, which was just the instrumental. I never ever got my hands on a copy, and going through my records 3-4 weeks ago, I went through every single track, and I pulled this out and I thought, what is this? And it was the track that I've been hunting down for like all of these years. I didn't even know I had it. So, yep, that's another one. Women Trouble, Public Demand. Artful Dodger and Robbie Craig and Craig David. I remember sort of going to clubs like Bagleys and seeing Robbie Craig do a live PA in Bagleys with this track when it was the best and hottest track around. I mean, it really was something special, and I wish I could actually see that again at the festival. Brilliant song, amazing production, and just an earworm. Love it. Kartik, The Way We Freak. Very rare. It's the original mix. I always thought that this track was a sample of an R&B vocal or an a cappella, which was quite popular to do back then because I guess nobody in these bedroom studios had access to the most amazing singers in the world. I was really surprised when I met Kartik. He gave me a copy of this, and it was again a track that I was trying to hunt down and I wanted. And he actually said that he'd sung the vocals himself, and that kind of took me back because it sounded like a really professional, mastered vocal, which was again kind of rare. Like sometimes with the equipment that we used to make music on, we didn't have hard drives with terabytes, and so I remember having to make a tune when I first started. It was using an Akai sampler called S950. That basically gave you 9 seconds of sampling time. To get another 18 seconds or another 9 seconds used to cost 800 quid. For the upgrade to get 50 megabytes so that you could have another 9 seconds to make a whole tune out of that. So some of these old tracks are really simple because you didn't have the time to actually sample. So yeah, one of my favourite two-step tracks ever. And finally, this is 괉ᴜ It's just a bullet, I'd say, a smoking gun, and the amount of tracks and people, I guess, producers making music that have listened to this record, even used the beats actually and sampled the beats. But this is one of the first two-step tracks I remember, and I think with Locked On, I basically moved in to our flat and archway, and they were my local record shop, and I didn't realise exactly what was going on behind the doors. It was a absolutely amazing label. I remember the A&R director, Andy Lewis, he signed most of these and he had a real ear for what was coming next. This was, I guess, one of the first two-step records that had a huge impact on the UK garage scene. So again, Locked On, thank you for having me. I will have some new garage coming out in the new year, which will be going back to kind of 95, 96 drums. Quite interested in reviving that sound. Also, hopefully doing lots of DJing with some new garage. And yeah,